Yes, guys, welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows. It's Monday, therefore it's our debrief show as we still look ahead to Gameweek 35. But it was a week of green arrows for literally every single FPL manager that was on a free hit. If you're on a free hit, every player hit. So we're going to be breaking that down as well. I'm joined by regular co-host on a Monday, all the way from San Diego. And he was on a free hit, Mr. Dean Jones. Dean, how are you, mate?
I'm okay, mate. Yeah, it went okay. Like it didn't go as well as it could have. Bournemouth really let me down. I feel like Bournemouth have cost me the season, to be honest, mate.
Don't. I had Kepa. It broke my heart. He was on for 10 points and he got 3 in the 95th minute.
Yeah,
Ugh.
a killer. Yeah, I mean, current rank is 230k, which I'm happy. I'm happy with that. I'm not expected to get into the top 100k. I think I've done it once in my whole life, so like this is pretty good for me. But if Bournemouth could have just done something here, if Kluivert could have not got a yellow and then not been subbed, that would have been handy.
Yep.
And if Kirkes could have held out for a clean sheet for another few seconds, that would have been handy. But I've got 76 points from the game week. It's fine. I've still got Chris Wood to play. But a few things, a few errors. I had Cucurella and Sanchez, if you remember, when we were sat here on Friday.
Yeah.
I took them both out.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, took it. Went with Pope in goal, who got me 3 less points than Sanchez.
That meant you didn't go Trippier, got 15 points.
Didn't go Trippier. So Cucurella didn't make the starting 11, which was annoying. But here we are. That's the game. What I need to do, mate, is roll the dice a little bit. Because 230k is fine. Like it's been a fine season. I'm happy with how it's gone. Obviously had a really good start, burst out the blocks, then sunk a bit and then kind of leveled it out. But I want to have a bit of fun in these last few weeks because why not? Like it doesn't matter at all if I'm going to finish 500k at this point. No. So I might as well just have a go at this. I know that some other people have got some chips in their back pocket, whether it's a bench boost, whether it's another wild card, whatever. I'm done after this free hit. Like that.
Most are,
yeah. But I'm done. So yeah, I'm going to look to just have some fun from here out and not worry.
You've got to. Like, you're right. There's no worries whether it's a 230k or a 430k finish. When you have your targets
at all, people are really worried about this, and even in our WhatsApp group with our members here. You know, there's Paul in our group. Paul, if you're watching, give us a shout out. Who's doing really well. I think he might even be top 10k. And I see like them kicking and feeling every single ball in these moments. And of course, like that's part of the game. But to come away feeling disappointed when you're that high in the league, I feel is a bit too harsh on yourself. Like there's 10 million people that play this game at the start of the season.
Yeah.
So I think we're all doing fine.
And it is a game. We have to remember
it's a
that.
Game.
And I saw myself.
You're not going to get sacked.
I know. Well, I might. I might, and it is. I saw myself watching Kepa and the clean sheet, and it distracted away from like valuable Sunday family time. And there I am. I'm cooking with the laptop on VPN. I've got Sky Sports News, Sky Sports on, watching the game.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing myself like getting palms are sweaty over Kepa losing a clean sheet. As soon as I saw 9 minutes go up, I knew I was losing that Kepa clean sheet. I think many did. If you watched the game, the red card at 70 minutes, you knew it was going to be one-way traffic for the final 20. It wasn't a final 20, it was a final 30. And that 30 hurt. And 95th minute, 25 minutes into that 30, we saw the Højlund goal. But it's like, Gianni, sort your life out. What's important? Like, get outside and go see your daughter, for God's sake. Like, you've just hid away for 2 hours cooking so I can watch the game. I'm like, grow up. And do you know what? Like, at my rank, yes, it's my job and yes, it's important, but no one's going to remember next season other than a few Twitter trolls if I finish 200k or 500k. Sure, I've got targets, and my target was 10k, and then it moved to 100k. I ain't going to reach that now. I'm at like 500, 600k. I've not even looked. I've got 3 players still to play, and I don't like mid-game week ranks when I've got so many to play. But it's like, who cares? And remember, guys, next season, it's a new season and no one will care what you did last year.
Yeah, and honestly, like the thing is with rank and stuff from this point out is that people will be judging you on how your season's gone. It won't be remembering, like, suddenly you burst up and you do end up in the top 200k. Obviously, you're happy with that.
You're still rubbish because you were rubbish in game week 30 when they remember.
That's it. So if there's anything to learn from this, mate, Next season, just go strong. Just go strong. Have the best like August to December you could possibly have with your chips. Get that rank right up there, and then just deal with the fallout as you go along, because that's what people are talking about, and that's where you really make a splash. I think in this game, there are a few content creators out there that I've noticed that are doing well, and they have sustained a very good rank throughout. But there's not many. There's not many.
Yeah, no, long are the days of all the content creators being in the top 50k and like, you know, that's not a thing. There's a lot that will get 6-digit ranks this season of 100,000, and you know, myself included. I look back at the last 13 seasons. Twice I've finished outside the top 200k, and that's quite typical of the majority of content creators you guys will watch on YouTube. Most of them will have always finished in the top 100k. They might have 1 or 2 seasons outside of it, but we're seeing now a lot of them finishing 100k. Like, that will be a new thing because there's way more engaged managers. It's harder to do well, and fair play to all those that are at worldy ranks, because it's tougher than ever.
Duncan's gone really deep here, mate. He said, "No one will remember your rank, but your daughter will remember your absence." I mean, you're definitely not an absent dad, at least. Yeah, you're definitely.
No, but it's fair. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. But yeah, she definitely won't remember an absence, because there isn't one.
You're always there.
Part of the trip to Tuscany for 3 months was literally so I can see her all day, every day for 3 months, because she's only young once. So yeah, conscious decision to step away from work and be a dad for 3 months. Full on. Guys in the chat, thank you for all your comments. We're reading them all, and it's good to see so many new faces in the chat. We've had quite a lot of lurkers, Dean, that have come forward into the chat, like Historia Films, Duncan, Gianpaolo. Like, you guys, we don't always see you in the chat, so good to see Heather and Danny B in as always, and Malachi's there, but you know, Harry Dawson, Sigurd's in the house. Good to see you, mate. But loads of new faces too. So get your comments in. If you are a lurker, get an account, subscribe, and come and say hello. And Sigurd, we love you so much. And just as I said, hello, Sigurd, seconds later, he's just sent a super chat to say, I love this game, as we all do, mate. It's our hobby of choice. And I'm glad you come here 3 times a week to enjoy our FPL chat. And we enjoy your commentary in the comments as well. So keep it up, Sigurd, and really appreciate the super chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, mate. We do appreciate that. So thank you very much. Where do you want to start, mate? Obviously, the game week's not complete, but it kind of is. And actually,
should we talk about that game? The outstanding one. How do you see that going?
Well, it's definitely more interesting now, I think, for me. Forest got a lot on the line here, and obviously a disappointing result for them against Man City, but hit the woodwork 3 times.
The
very
Gibbs White one.
You know, the times that they've conceded. Yeah, the Gibbs White was unbelievable. The 2 times that they've conceded a goal, painful, you know, early on in both halves. And Forest aren't good at having to come back from behind. That's not what they want to do.
Yeah, doesn't suit their game plan, does it?
It just doesn't suit them. Like, they don't want that, to have to chase to get back into it. They like to have more control. So this is huge. Brentford have little to play for. There's a very outside chance of like a Conference League spot or something, but they are a very good away team. But for Nottingham Forest, like, everything's basically on the line now. They've had a cup semi-final, and now they've got a few finals coming up, because they've got Champions League football to play for, and they're very much within reach of it. They got a game in hand. They're 1 point off of Chelsea, who are currently 5th, 2 points off Man City, who are 4th, and 3 points off of Newcastle, who are 3rd. So
it's touch and go.
It's brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. Like, I'm really excited about this end. I'll be watching every Nottingham Forest game from here on out. Nottingham Forest's end of season run. Brentford home, Crystal Palace away. Crystal Palace have a cup final to prepare for. Nottingham Forest then got Leicester at home. Easy.
Banker.
West Ham away. They're rubbish. And then they got Chelsea at home last day of the season, which could
winner takes all.
Could be winner takes all.
Is it at the City Ground, Dean?
It's at the City Ground.
Damn.
Which isn't good for Chelsea.
No, that's not. So, Chelsea at home are very good, especially like defensively. We've been quite useful.
I can see them getting 4 wins out of 5, mate.
It's a very good run in. I think the Brentford game really does matter, though, because you mentioned Brentford could get a Conference League. When you look at that league table for the European spots, depending on how things play out with the teams in Europe, I think Brentford could very easily get European football next year, because the Brentford fixtures are really strong as well. Like, you look at Brentford, I think they could get 4 wins out of 5. They've got maybe 3. They got Forest, sure, that's a really tough one away on Thursday night. Then they play Man United, who are going to play the kids, because it's between the 2 semi-finals for Man United in Europe. Then Ipswich, banker. Fulham at home for Brentford is a big fixture because Fulham are also playing for something, and we know it's a bit of beef there in the two teams, West London derby, and then Wolves on the final day, who should be on the beach. So I fancy Brentford, and I think they're my biggest tip in terms of buying players, and we'll talk more about Mbeumo later. But Mbeumo and Vissa are great options to run in, and I think Brentford, their defensive numbers, as we looked at last week, aren't that bad either. I've got Collins on wildcard. I think we could see some clean sheets, but you're right. That Forest Brentford game is massive. Forest are clearly favourites. What's your prediction then? And give us a scoreline for that game, because I reckon we see a 1-1 draw.
A 1-1 is a good prediction for sure. Like, this certainly not going to be more than a goal in it, is there? Like, either way, I can't see that anyway. So I think 1-1's a good prediction, but I'm going to go Forest to edge it 2-1.
Loads of comments in the chat being like, "Oh, the game's on Thursday, not Friday. The graphic is India time, so in India it is Friday.
It will have just turned Friday, yeah, exactly.
Midnight."
Yeah.
So go on. You were saying 2-1 Forest.
I think so. Yeah. Mark says
brace.
Forest 3-0 rebounding from cup loss.
Ouch.
Malaki says 1-0 to Alanga. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, obviously you've got 3 Brentford assets, so it's a big game for you with 3 Brentfords. But I just want a Chris Wood goal.
I've got Nico Williams as well. I've actually got 4 players to play. I forgot. I've got all bases covered. I've got Sells on the bench as well. I've got 5.
That's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot. What did you think of Sells at the weekend?
Mate, Sells this season, I thought Sells was the worst. If I was ranking the 20 Premier League keepers at the start of the season, I'd have put Sells like 18th or something, right? I think he's been useless. I thought he was useless. He actually had a good Euros, to be fair. So maybe if I'd done it at the end of last season, I started the season, I think, with him in goal, or certainly wildcarded or transferred him in it early, because I was like, I know I don't rate him as a keeper, but I was really rating the Forest defence, and we were seeing teams against them shooting from distance and easy save points.
Yeah.
The more I've watched him this year, he's a proper good keeper. He's just a proper good. I'm not going beyond myself here. I don't think he's going to go above a Nottingham Forest, but a very good Premier League keeper. And if I was ranking the 20 Premier League starters now, Sells would not be 18th. He'd probably be top 10, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And from an FPL
around about Pickford level.
Yeah, from an FPL perspective, 10. Like I think he's a good pick for these for this run in for sure. I really want to go all in on a couple of teams here and just try
fancy
to back people. So Forest is one of the ones I want to get behind more. Okay. So that's something I want to look into, because my problem, I don't have any Forest as a problem. Like I've been really short-sighted here. Like Chris Wood, I haven't got at the moment. My attack for the next game week is Mateta, who's got Nottingham Forest at home, but obviously Palace got a final coming up. Marmoush home to Wolves, final coming up. Isak away to Brighton. Just to touch on the Man City game, I thought Marmoush was really good.
Oh, I took the corner, didn't he, for the Guardiola goal as well? With no De Bruyne in the team. The corner was great.
Like, okay, you shouldn't really have such a clear header from there for Guardiola, but the cross is absolutely perfect. So half of me is contemplating Marmoush as captain for the next game week against Wolves at home. Yeah. We'll talk about captaincy a bit more in a bit. Obviously, today we have got Mbeumo captain on our thumbnail. So, we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, it's really interesting. So much on the line here still for Man City in the league. Like, you can see what it means to them as well. So that is a really big fixture. But yeah, I do want to go in on Nottingham Forest. So I've got to find a way and decide who it's going to be. I am going defense or attack, basically. I'm not going to spread it out. I'm either going all in on defense or all in on attack.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, well, let's come away from the results in 34. We're not going to dwell too much on them anyway. Just fair play to Liverpool scoring 5. The free hit teams all hit. I don't think we need to dwell on what happened in the free hit. If you're on free hit, you're on a green arrow. If you went with a template free hit, you're close to 100 points. Some are on it. Your 8 Norries, your Trippiers, as well as all the obvious Cunha. I mean, not having Cunha for me. The world and their dog had Cunha. I didn't, because I was on wildcard, and I still stand by the fact that Vissa was the better wildcard option than Cunha. Of course, if I was on free hit, Cunha was a lock in my team, and he was close to on wildcard. So yeah, fair play. That's where we're at. When we're talking Nottingham Forest players, I just want to touch on some of the attackers. Chris Wood, do you feel like now's the time to buy him, Dean, and other Forest attackers? Because it's pretty much just 3, isn't there? There's Alanga, Gibbs, White, and Wood. They're the three that jump out as like FPL assets. Hudson-Odoi, not guaranteed to start every game, but Gibbs, White, the main man. Maybe even his last stint in a Forest shirt.
Yeah,
for the
probably
run-in,
is.
and then Chris Wood, the talisman.
Yeah, I'm still tempted by Wood for sure. He has got a good season, and no matter whether you rate him or not as the footballer, he's been a very good FPL asset this season, and he's one of the reasons that I've got a half decent rank, to be honest, because I put my faith in him early and I stuck with him, and it went well. So I do still like Wood. I think I like Milenkovic, and I think I like Sells.
Yes, goal threat from Milenkovic as well. He's a beast at set pieces.
I honestly think that I might. I know I just said a second ago I'm going all defence or all attack, but actually I want Milenkovic and Wood. But we'll have to see. I've got to make a decision on Mateta, really, in terms of whether I trust him to get enough minutes from here on out for Palace in the league, or whether it is now completely irrelevant, pretty much. So, yeah, that's where I've got to go with that. But interesting one. Brian says, Dean, what did you make of ESPN FC's coverage of the FA Cup now that you're in the US? I watched it on BBC with a VPN, so I can't have it. ESPN's one of the ones I don't have out here. I've got Paramount Plus, I've got Peacock, but they're so spread out over here.
CBS is Champions League, isn't it?
Yes, the CBS comes with Paramount Plus, basically. So,
oh right,
yeah. If you get Paramount Plus, then you get all of Serie A, you get Champions League, Europa League, Football League, and a few other little bits and pieces. Peacock, you get all the Premier League stuff. But FA Cup comes under ESPN.
Random.
And I really have ESPN is for La Liga mainly, and I have other ways of watching La Liga, so I don't spend $20 a month or whatever it is on it. So yeah, sorry, Brian, I didn't. I watched some of their like reactions and stuff, ESPN FC, but that's all on YouTube, which anyone could really go and watch. So.
Yeah, I listen to the ESPN podcast, the Gab and Jules. I used to religiously twice a week. Gab and Jules, it's more reactionary stuff. Gab and Jules pod on ESPN, which is great. I've stopped listening to pods now, but yeah, fair. So in general, the coverage is good though, right? It's all the pundits. A lot of the pundits we'd be used to. I saw Gary Neville was doing American coverage.
He does NBC/Peacock. Yeah, he does a lot of that. But on ESPN, I mean, some of them are okay. Some of them,
Shaka Hislop.
Steve Nicol. They have people like that. But they had Nader Manua. They had Nader Manua on the City game.
He does the Gab and Jules show, and one of them's off. It's always Ned that steps in. He's great. He's great.
He did the Classico as well this weekend, and actually was really good on the Real Madrid-Barcelona game. So I did see that. But yeah, thanks for the question.
Yamal's hair, Lamine Yamal's blonde hair. He got 2 assists.
Yeah, I like him in FPL, I tell you. Mark Nash says Mobland on Paramount Plus is excellent. Yeah, I need a new show actually before the transfer window starts. I want to watch one more show because once June comes, I'm done until September. So,
when does it open? When's the transfer window? I can't.
We've got two. We've got 2 transfer windows. We've got the first one, June.
Oh, because the Club World Cup.
I think June 1 to 10, and then we've got a little break, and then it reopens again. Yeah.
Why is that?
Club World Cup, yes.
Club World Cup.
Players can sign for Club World Cup teams, yeah.
Which the team representing or coming from Saudi, is it Ronaldo's team? I don't know. They want a big marquee signing for that tournament, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's part
makes
of the
sense.
Fun. Yeah, I think that's part of the fun. But who knows? Maybe some of the English clubs. I think Man City might do at least one before we get there as well.
Erling Haaland's back training. Did you see that? Erling Haaland's back training. Him and Rodri are both back training. Now, I don't know if they're full training with the team yet, but we could see Rodri and Haaland. I'm pretty sure we're going to before the season ends in terms of FPL. Haaland maybe as a game week 37 or 8 punt. Who knows? I assume it will take him. That will be very careful over him, and they want him available for Club World Cup, of course. But what did you make to De Bruyne not starting for Man City at the weekend, Dean? Like, should I be worried as a De Bruyne owner? He plays Wolves on Friday. I need De Bruyne. I wildcarded, kept him in my team. He's not around for Club World Cup, but and he's not around next year. So you think maybe City need to plan life without him, and they've done very well without him. So he's always been injured. But since he came back into the team a month ago, like he's been set and forget. Right, Pep's played him every game. Didn't play him in the FA Cup semi, which I was quite surprised at. Does he come back in for the Wolves game? I think he probably does. Should we be worried or not?
No, don't be worried. He'll come back in for that. How did you feel about seeing Rico Lewis score a goal in one of the games?
I can't. He played midfield. Now, I had him in the double game week before. I got 0 minutes in a double game week for Rico Lewis because I was like, this is the one time I need you to get some minutes. Just play one of the 2 games. And I thought he might come off the bench and get a couple of sub appearances. He got 0 minutes in 2 games, and then game 3, centre mid, scores in the first half an hour. Unbelievable.
Oh my god, it was it was a good strike from Rico Lewis. Actually, I thought Kovacic played well as well for Man City, but I do believe that KDB will come in. As I said recently, like I was told that especially home games, KDB will be playing from the start to the end of the season. Kai says, "Who else is here to check in on Dean's tan progress?" Well, you got G now looking more tan too. He's actually it's raining this morning, to be honest. So there's no tan happening today.
I've just had the sun go behind some clouds. The first 20 minutes of the show, I had the golden hour, but it's
gonna get cold now, mate.
But yeah, it's gonna get chilly, and the mosquitoes are coming, and I'm in speedos.
How long have you been there now? A month?
Yeah, I think so. I think I might be week 4, 5. Yeah. Have
you forgotten about your old life?
Mate, I was speaking to a work colleague 10 minutes before I came on, and I was like, it's really weird. Like, I don't really have, other than looking after my dog and my daughter, not in that order, I don't really have a purpose in life. I'm quite enjoying it, and no responsibility. Like, I got no job. Like, I don't have a job to get up for. Like, I can just do a bit of FPL stuff, but my day job, I do have a day job outside of FPL, and it's really nice not doing that. I'm loving life. I just wish I could do it forever, and I can't because at some point you got to earn some money. But
apparently that's the way the world works, unfortunately. Duncan wants to know what the Man City game looked like. He didn't get to see it. Did they look beatable? I have to say, like, Kovacic and Bernardo Silva were superb in the first half. It was a bit more City of old. They were good. Like, Forest had chances, like second half, as I mentioned at the start, they did hit the woodwork 3 times.
Yeah.
Gibbs White with one unbelievable shot. And then one he should have scored when he hits the post. It's unlucky.
The back stick. Yeah.
He's got an open goal from a tight angle, but it's Gibbs White, so you expect him to find that angle. Very surprised he didn't. But yeah, City looked pretty comfortable and actually could end the season pretty well. If they make the Champions League, if they win the FA Cup, and if they can do well at the Club World Cup, they'll consider that a successful season.
Mate, they're going to win the Club World Cup.
They may well.
Haaland's going to be back. It's going to be like, I guess there is still a few question marks about him defensively. Do you think? I know they kept the clean, but Forest didn't have a good performance. I thought that was a bad Forest game, and they hit the woodwork 3 times.
Yeah, it was a disappointing Forest performance, and I think that's they'll be really upset. I think that they didn't go and make more of a game out of it, for sure. Forest, they like to sit in, they like to close things up, and then they like to get their goal. And obviously,
so true.
City, the way that they played early on meant that wasn't plausible because they scored an early opener, so they couldn't rely on that clean sheet. And Forest had to change the way they played a little bit. So that was very interesting indeed. Max says, I went to the MLS game here in Nashville on Saturday night. We beat Chicago 7-2. It was 7-0 after 57 minutes. Thought they were going to break the MLS goal record. Yeah, I saw that. I was at the San Diego game actually at the weekend. We lost 3-1. But it made me feel better that someone was getting beaten much more heavily. So hope you had a good time, Max.
So Nashville is an MLS team. I didn't know that.
Yeah, only for a few years, 2 or 3 years. They're a pretty new one, but yeah, they are.
Forest should have scored 2-3 in the second half, says Peter. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they should have.
Can in London.
Yeah, they absolutely should have. But yeah, interesting. In terms of Man City and where we go with their assets,
it's the 3, isn't it?
Yeah, Southampton away, Bournemouth at home, Fulham away.
You could go all 3. Like on wildcard, they didn't have a fixture, and I still went Triple City. Like, they didn't have a fixture, and I still put Triple City on wildcard because De Bruyne, Marmoush, and Guardiola just felt like a lock for me. They feel like you cover 3 of their, and actually when you see Marmoush and Guardiola combine, you're like, please do that in FPL. Like, I'm sure we're going to get points. We'll also probably get team leagues because Wolves is a Friday night deadline, and guys, we'll be doing a deadline stream on Friday, so stay tuned for that. But But yeah, it's Sam Surridge got 4 for Nashville, ex-Bournemouth. Yeah, we know Sam Surridge. I didn't realise he was there, Freddie. Nice.
He'd been struggling for goals actually before that point, so it was a bit of a breakthrough moment for him. He'd been struggling a little bit to get in among the goals. Derek says he can't believe you've got KDB. It seems desperate.
I mean, maybe it is. I am incredibly desperate, Derek. At my
but
rank,
it's a great differential. Like you're using
Yeah.
KDB as a differential, and in 4 games that are really important to them, in his last 4 games for the club, you might as well have
he's
a go
going
at
to
it.
start at least 3 of them, I think. Like, so yeah. Like, I've picked a wildcard team. It would like what we said at the top of the show. And if you are just tuning in, go back and watch from the start. Like we did a little bit of a therapy session at the start around rank and stuff. But yeah, why do we just need to all have the same team? There are
You really don't right now.
pick in this team. If ever you're going to throw caution to the wind and pick some differentials, my entire wildcard was differential. I wildcarded this week without Cunha. The world and their dog had Cunha in their team. Yeah. I didn't. It was a mistake, sure, but I'm happy playing my own game. I've got triple Brentford. I've got double Forest, and I'm cool with that for the run-in. I've made my bed. I'm going to lie in it and hopefully enjoy the next few weeks.
Yeah, exactly. I have to say one player that I don't know if I'm brave enough to do it, but Jamie Vardy obviously is leaving Leicester. They got Southampton at home next. He's going to score a goal. Surely.
Mark's just said that in the chat.
Oh, was he?
Leicester versus Southampton this week. Now go real different on that.
Like, I mean, obviously this fixture, they're 2 dreadful teams, but
and Leicester have got home advantage. I could see him scoring that, but
I
it's
think
just a
Vardy
1 week
actually
isn't it? That's
is
too
a decent
rogue
pick for that one.
For that one he is, but then you got to get rid of. You spend a transfer getting rid of him.
Yeah, that's true. Have they got
the players you're picking now? I feel you need to pick for 3 games or for 4 games. That you need to know to
but he's
bring
got Ipswich at home
in.
2 weeks later.
Oh, fair. Okay, well you could keep it.
Yeah, game week 37. You've got Ipswich. So you get 2 good games out of Vardy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. By the way, we should mention Strand Larsen. Shout out to him. He's still incredible amount of goals for his price. I think he's on like 13 goals for the season. We look at other strikers in that price band. You look at like Jamie Vardy, but you've seen players like João Pedro or Welbeck score goals this season. Evan Nilsson. Strand Larsen's been the best of the bunch. Liam Delap, Strand Larsen, more points, more goals. And he doesn't take penalties like a lot of these others. Strand Larsen's been awesome. And Wolves are a team that I know they did against Leicester, but they don't actually produce much in terms of chances created. They're a defence first team. They're good for clean sheets and they're pretty rigid. So Strand Larsen, definitely one to watch for next season, I think, if he comes in at a good price point.
Yeah. Obviously, for right now, Cunha is hard to beat for Wolves. He was backed by a lot of people, and he really did deliver. If you captained him, then well done. I wasn't brave enough to do it. I thought Salah would do better, but Cunha 2 assists, a goal, gets the 3 bonus points too. He smashed everyone in terms of the BPS. Really good performance from him too. I've still got a few reservations about him being an Eric Cantona-like figure for Man United, but they're going for it. They're going for it. Quick question from Eddie, which you can help with. Should we be transferring out Saka for Mbeumo? Now,
yes,
Mbeumo is on our thumbnail today.
This week.
What do you reckon?
Yeah. This is going to be the content creator template transfer of the week. I guarantee it. I guarantee Big Man Backer will be making this change. We'll hear Big Man's team selection midweek. Stay tuned for that, by the way, guys. This week we're doing something a little bit different with Big Man's team selection. It's going to be a normal video on Chasing Green Arrows, not a live. So please, when you hit that subscribe button, or even if you're subscribed now, click the notification bell. And then you'll see a notification pop up and it will be me and Big Man chatting on Wednesday. And I want you guys to see that video. So please, whether you're subscribed or not, hit the notification bell, hit like and hit subscribe if you're not already. But Mbeumo, the reason everyone wants Mbeumo, brilliant fixtures, as we've discussed. He's about to play a Man United team who will play a second string. There'll be a ton of players rested. The Bilbao game is everything, and they've got 2 legs, Thursday, the Sunday between they play Brentford, everything to play for, Man United nothing to play for, Brentford home advantage, and Mbeumo the second best point scorer in FPL this season. So already there's this narrative of we need Mbeumo in our teams for the run-in. There's also a really good path of how we sell him, and that's purely also driven by Champions League or European distraction for a club, and Arsenal have their entire season hinges on the 2 semi-finals in the Champions League, the PSG games. Does Saka get rested between those games? Many think he will be, and if they think that, they will sell Saka and buy Mbeumo and pocket the change. Big question here is does Arteta actually rest him? Because the turnaround isn't Wednesday, Tuesday like it was last time. It's Tuesday, Wednesday. It's 8 days, not 6. And with that in mind, knowing what Arteta's done in the past and knowing Saka's now been eased back into the team slowly and he's back up and running and fully fit or whatever, wouldn't be surprised to see him get a 60. And in that 60, he could do damage. Personally, I think there's a good chance Wanieri or Trossard or Sterling on the right. I think I'd probably make the same move, Saka out and Mbeumo in. I think I would do it. I don't have to worry about that. I don't own Saka and I own Mbeumo. But where are you at there with minutes for Saka? And then let's break down why Mbeumo's so good.
Yeah, so in my team at the moment, I've got Mbeumo and I've got Saka. I have some regret over being a bit of a sheep on Saka, to be honest. Like, I wish I hadn't done it, but everyone was doing it. And there was obviously some signs that he had a good double game week that would deliver. Absolutely did not prove to be the case, but it seemed a reasonable, safe pick at the time. And it was more a case of, do you captain him or not? But I don't have that much. I'd rather have Mbeumo over Saka. If it was a straight pick out of the two, I'd go on Mbeumo every time. I think that Brentford will beat Man United in that game. And Saka, really don't know what minutes-wise we're going to get out of him because he still doesn't seem fully fit. It still seems like there is some concern and that he will be getting picked up, left out at times just to rest him. So I don't think Saka's the pick at all. So that it's a case of where else you want to go on the back of that.
So where'd you go for captaincy? Because if you buy Mbeumo, the big question is, do you captain him? Because Man United kids versus Mbeumo, if Mbeumo bangs on Thursday night, he's going to be a lot of love. He's going to get he's already had a price rise this week, by the way. He had a price rise last night. He's not even played yet. Managers are buying him already.
Yeah,
definitely wait till Thursday, guys. We could even get an announcement of doubles at the end of the week. Don't make early transfers this week. But would you consider captaining him, Dean? Like, where's your captain at the moment? Is it on a Man City player? Because they've got Wolves.
Yeah, so I think the logical places to go, apart from him, would be Marmoush. I think that's a very strong pick. I think Isak actually away to Brighton is a good pick. I don't think that many people will do it, but I do think Isak is due a haul. And Brighton games are becoming so open at the moment that
they can't defend.
Exactly. So they've obviously just beaten West Ham 3-2. The game before that, they lost to Brentford 4-2. So
who concedes twice to West Ham?
Exactly. Even the week before that, Brighton 2, Leicester 2, lost to Palace 2-1.
Leicester scored twice against them. I mean, that says it all. Leicester scored twice against them, and West Ham scored twice against them.
I fancy Isak there, so it's a tough one. Mbeumo, Isak, Marmoush, all good choices as far as I'm concerned.
Salah, we got to throw his name in because it's Salah. So that's the four. Salah. Let's do a poll with those four.
I won't be picking Salah. 100% not picking Salah, but obviously people who have a higher rank are kind of protecting themselves probably will. And then there's Cunha on the back of what you've just done. On the back, this is how they're ending their season. I don't think you would captain him. I don't know if you it's a big risk, obviously, to captain him against Man City, but absolutely Wolves can score against Man City. There's no
City will give you chances. Forest will tell you that.
The week after that, Wolves have Brighton, so we'll score in that one. Home game against them.
Oh, don't. I should have picked him on wildcard.
Yeah, I mean, you probably should have picked Cunha on a wildcard, unfortunately. Mate.
I just thought he weren't going to play. I don't know. I knew he'd start versus Leicester. Of course I did. But with the transfer stuff, I just thought, is he going to play in 37? Is he going to play in 38?
A lot of people are asking about Jarrod Bowen in the chat right now, and suggesting that West Ham do have a good end to the season.
Yeah, they got the fixtures.
And they do.
I mean, target Spurs. But all right, should we go to Bowen in a sec, Dean, and just carry on captaincy? I'm just thinking of our chapters because we got the poll out. So where are you at? Where's you're not? You said you're not going Salah.
Not going Salah.
You like Isak. You like Marmoush. And Mbeumo an option for you or not?
Yeah, it's an option, definitely, because Man United I just don't fancy at all in that game, same as I didn't fancy him at the weekend. So if I was to rank out of Marmoush, Isak and Mbeumo, I'd probably go Marmoush and Mbeumo, Isak. That's probably where I'm at.
Where'd you get that idea from? Ranking the best captaincy options for Gameweek 35.
A thing called Ranked FC. If you haven't tried it, try it.
Okay, so I'm gonna say if I rank, I think I'm gonna go Mbeumo 1, KDB 2 because I own him. We didn't put him in the poll because not many own him. Isak 3. I'm with you though. Salah's the one I'm not considering at all.
It's not worth
Do you
it for
reckon
us.
are we going to see party mode? Like, are they like Salah wants the individual accolades and he's still going to get 90 minutes, and Liverpool still score goals? But do you think we'll see a bit of a downturn in performance levels from Liverpool now?
We might do. I mean, I don't think Chelsea are the team still to really capitalise on that. Derek says, I don't see how you can go against Salah this week. He's playing against a Cucurella that inverts and spends the majority of his time at the opposition box.
Yeah, we don't leave that left back spot completely vacant. Like if Cucurella comes in, they all move across. So Colwill fills that gap, and Colwill's not a bad one-on-one defender at all. Chelsea at home have been good defensively. They just got free hitters, loads of clean sheet points.
Yeah, exactly. And I missed them all.
No, I don't think I disagree with that. I don't think Salah's the obvious captaincy option. If you're looking at fixture matchups and teams with stuff to play for, well, City have to go full throttle versus Wolves. Brentford believe that they can still get European football. Isak has so much to play for. Newcastle need the Champions League if he's going to stay.
Absolutely. Well, at the moment, the early results say that Mbeumo is the outstanding pick. 44% gone for Mbeumo, and then it's split between Marmoush and Isak, and Salah's bottom as it stands right now. Brian says Salah is 6 up on the Golden Boot. Yeah, Salah second in European Golden Boot, says Paul. Yeah, absolutely. So he wants that accolade. Of course he does.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a bad pick. I just think it really depends what your rank is right now, whether you're protecting yourself or if you're looking to make up ground. And I think, you look at what ground people have made up who captained Cunha at the weekend, who was obviously going to be a good pick, but it was just a case whether you were brave enough to do it. And people that did that have really reaped the benefits of doing so.
Yeah, and Dean, it's about you're right. It's about being brave enough to go, that player's brilliant and he's got a good fixture and it's all there for him. I'm going to captain him. Forget the price tag. We said this with Cole Palmer, didn't we? We said Cole Palmer was a rubbish pick on free hit. People are blinded by the fact that it's this premium price tag, therefore he'll get me points. Palmer was a bad pick on free hit, and actually he's the only player on free hit. Him and Raul Jimenez. Those two are the only two where the free hit template that didn't hit. So fair play. Free hitters, you've done amazingly. Even you all that have Raul Jimenez and Palmer. Raul Jimenez owners probably a bit unlucky. 0.7 XG, I think he clocked. Palmer's been a dud for a while. He was a bad pick. But those that went Cunha, captain, were rewarded. We might have to do the same again. Let's not look at Marmoush and Mbeumo and go, we can't captain them because that's 7-8 million. Of course we can. Of course we can. You don't have to captain someone with double-digit price tag. And if that's if you have a safety, some sort of comfort blanket by going Salah just because he costs 13 million, fine. Yeah. But try and take price out of it because Cunha's just shown us all it doesn't come down to that.
Yeah, I think Mbeumo is the Cunha of this week. Max says, for those who had triple Palace for their doubles and free hit in 34, should we elect to sell Eze for Mbeumo?
No, I still think Palace is a good team who could double, by the way. In fact, let's show you the Ben Crellin tweet from last night with regards to doubles, because we could still see a double game week for Crystal Palace. Now, we will know more by the end of the week, so this is not a time to be making early transfers. And I think half the reason why it's fairly quiet tonight is so many are going to be disengaged from FPL until Thursday, and then they're going to see the Thursday night game, and by Friday they're going to go full throttle 24 hours till the next deadline, or 12 hours till the deadline, and that's when we might get an announcement on Friday. But the possible double game week fixtures still could be Spurs could get a double, Villa could double, City could double, Bournemouth could double, Palace could double, and Wolves could double. Now, it's unlikely it's unlikely we won't see more than 2 of these. It'll be best case scenario 2, but it will be very likely that you could see 1 or 0. Spurs have requested that Villa versus Spurs is moved to the weekend of 37, to the midweek of 36. So Spurs want a double game week, and they've written to the Premier League and said, we want the double game week. We want this game in 36 against Villa. Villa have since written to the Premier League saying, we don't want it in 36. We want it in 37. So there's a bit of a standoff there, but we will know more by the end of the week. But yeah, don't be selling players like Eze just in case they get a double. Like if you get Eze in a double versus Tottenham and Wolves, he's a better pick than Mbeumo with a single fixture, isn't he?
Yeah,
Probably,
Yeah, what a goal from Eze at the weekend.
Oh, he's so
absolute
good.
Beaut. Palace probably won't be able to hold on to him, so they're going to want to make the most of him.
Who's he linked with, Dean? If you see him move into a club in the summer, where does the player of Eze's skill set go? Because we've seen links with Man City for a while, haven't we? Or we did a year ago.
Yeah, Tottenham are the main ones looking at it, but I don't think Tottenham would pay the money it would take to get him. I think that would be a bit of a barrier to that deal. I still think City could be a decent bet. If you think that they're looking at Morgan Gibbs-White, I don't see why you wouldn't be looking at Eze in that same kind of with that same kind of idea. Obviously, he's going to be gettable. Palace not given up on keeping him, but they know it's unlikely that him and Gahey stay for next season. As a result of that, they can't lose everyone, right? They need to keep Adam Wharton. Who knows what will happen with Mateta? Small chance he goes to Man United still. If they don't get Liam Delap and they don't get Osimhen, then they're going to be scratching around. Then he might end up being the next one they go for. So, yeah, very strange one. Eze to Bayern Munich, says Historia.
That'd be cruel. You can't take Elise and then take Eze.
Yeah, it would be cool though to see them back together, wouldn't it? And then
although do Bayern Munich really need any more creators?
They can never have too many.
They've just got so many. When you look at a Bayern Munich bench and you're like, you've got I'm trying to think of all their names. All the three that would be bench. Okay, Gnabry's always on the bench. Who's the French wide man who's rapid? Played for Juve. What's his name?
Coman,
Kingsley. Yeah. Sane's getting some starts, some not. It's so much strength and depth there.
They've got loads. Yeah, they've got loads. I'm surprised Bayern didn't put up a better fight in the Champions League, but that's a Vincent Company problem.
Well, that's it. Yeah, they should. I mean, Inter Milan were there for the taking that second leg, or could have.
I mean, Inter Milan are dying, aren't they?
So bad. Mate, they're dead. They're done. Their season's over pretty much. They have to step up because I felt like Inter could beat. I felt like Inter were going to win the champions. My dark horses, their ways are whatever Italian teams in the league, I back them. But I thought they had a really good chance to win the Champions League a month ago. Now I don't.
Yeah, no, I agree. They're done. Cole asked about Fulham taking back Palhinha. Don't see it happening. Fulham sold him at the peak of his powers. I don't think he should have gone for that move. Hasn't worked out unless he's going to come on loan. Don't see it happening. FPL Slackers says Jonathan David linked to United. There's not a lot in that at the moment, to be honest with you.
He's off though, isn't he? He's going somewhere.
He's going somewhere, but
he'll go to Italy, I think. I can see him in Serie A.
Barcelona in for him too, so we'll see. But I don't think it'll be Man United.
Slackard's in Vancouver, by the way, so he's got an interest in Jonathan David, I expect. He's our resident Whitecaps fan. Yeah, Barcelona is his target. Yeah, nice. But McTominay winning the league, yeah, he might get the MVP award as well. McTominay,
he's been good. He's been so good, and Man United definitely could have done with a player with that sort of consistency. But Serie A just suits him down to the ground. It's a bit slower, a bit more tactical, and he's absolutely loved it. We got about 13 minutes left, mate.
Yeah, let's do some questions, shall we?
Yeah.
Should we do? In fact, before questions, Dean, let's just go off. It's the end of the season. We can have these sorts of discussions, I think, as we get to towards the end of the season. I want to just do a little game of price points, right? Price points of players next year. And I just want to throw a couple of names into the hat, and I want the chat to get involved with this. How much does Mo Salah cost in FPL next season? We saw, for the first time ever, a player start at 15 million. Erling Haaland came in. We've never seen that sort of price point. It shocked everyone. And I think it was really clever from FPL to make Haaland so expensive. Gave us a big dilemma at the start of the season. Which one of the two do you have? Those that went both flew, right?
Yep.
Haaland's clearly going to have a bit of a price drop. We'll talk about him in a minute. But what does Salah come in at? Salah has smashed his own record. So if they could price Haaland at 15, I think they could price Salah at 15. He started the season at 12.5. He's now up at 13.8. This isn't what we would do it. This is what we think FPL will do. I think FPL will go really high on Salah. I think 15 million.
I don't think I'd want to touch him at 15 million. I don't think it's the same as putting Haaland at that point.
Especially when you've got Luis Diaz, Jota, and Gakpo all at 7.5 again. It's like, I could have all three of them.
Yeah, I would be deterred by that amount for Salah, unless their opening fixtures were like two of the promoted clubs and like Everton or something. Like, then maybe I would do it. But yeah, I hope that they're a bit more reasonable with it and don't go above like 13.5. But they probably will be to try and make the game a bit more interesting. Mark says he wouldn't go for 14 to 15 million. Kai says Haaland got 15 mil because he broke so many records. Yeah, but I mean, Salah's not far off that, is he? And I mean, he's been one of the only reliable players in the game.
Max, I think this is. I think Salah's just broken the record, isn't he? So I don't think anyone's ever had more than 300 FPL points. What did Haaland get last year? I don't think it was. It wasn't what we've seen with Salah in the past. Salah's beaten his own record. His record was like 303 points, and he's beaten that. Last season, Haaland got 272, and Salah. So last season, Haaland got 272, and they priced him at 15 million. Salah is on currently 328. Like, I think that's his all, isn't it?
At this stage, yeah.
And Haaland got 272, and they priced him at 15 million.
Yeah, and just to put it into context, where Salah's at right now, so he's the top-ranked midfielder on 328, and then you got second, you got Mbeumo on 210. So, like, a huge difference. And obviously, like, price-wise as well, like, there is a huge difference. But that's why he's going to continue to be at that sort of number. And then you got
Salah got 211 last season. So Mbeumo is on what Salah got last year, which was a really good year for Salah. Like 18 goals, 12 assists last year. Salah got 211 points. It shows how good Mbeumo's been.
Yeah, I mean, the fifth highest ranked midfielder this season is Bruno Fernandes.
Is it? That would I never
believe that.
That high.
He's got 164 points. Like, he's outscored, people that we've talked about all season on this show. Semenyo, Cliver, Gibbs White, these sorts of picks that were like, have been good picks throughout the season. Eze, not really come close to Fernandes. The one closest to him is Jarrod Bowen. Who I don't really know anyone who's even picked Jarrod Bowen all season. So, yeah, interesting one to see that Bruno still come up that high in a season like that.
And money was not a problem with no Haaland, says Sigurd. Yeah, I bet you could have every other good player, couldn't you? You can feel there's going to be a lot of kind of 9-10 million midfielders next year, isn't there? Like we mentioned, players like Bowen could get, but Mbeumo will be more expensive. He'll be 9-10 million. You look at Bruno Fernandes, will probably be 9 million plus, maybe 9 million. Yeah, Saka's going to be high. Obviously, he'll have a price rise. He'll be 11 maybe.
Yeah, I'll be interested. Obviously, we're going to have some. Say, Cunha ends up at United. He's going to be playing as the attacking 10.
Will he be midfielder at 10 million or 8 million?
Yeah,
9 million.
Right, that's what I want to see.
But he should be a midfielder anyway. Like
he should be a midfielder. I agree.
The way I would personally, I don't know. That's another conversation. But the way FPL do it is, if you play number 9, you're a forward. If you play anywhere but number 9, you're a midfielder. So Mo Salah has always been a midfielder. He's a wide forward, but no, because he doesn't play number 9, he's a midfielder. So why Cunha's not a number 9? Like he's never really been Wolves' 9. Not really. No.
But I mean, he could actually end up playing centre forward for Man United if they don't end up signing Delap and then they can't get Osimhen. Yeah. There is a world in which they end up having Cunha and be like, well, we didn't intend to play him as a striker, but we're not playing Højlund anymore, so we'll just stick him up there and we'll play Fernandes and Diallo behind him or whatever. So it wouldn't surprise me if he did end up getting some games there, and that will probably play into the FPL decision making around it. Somebody just pointed out that Trent won't be around in the game next season. Yeah, £7.2 million defender this season. Closest to him is Virgil, Saliba as top value defenders this season. We'll see. Trent not definitely gone, but very likely gone at this stage. So we'll see. Geddy says he wants to see Wirtz 9 million at Man City.
You can put him in Bundesliga fantasy, but he's lining up for Bayern Munich probably.
With Eze,
another creative midfielder. Yeah, with Eze and Elise. Haaland, he's gonna he has to drop in price even before his injury. Like obviously they FPL, when they're pricing a player, they look at stuff like points per match. Now Haaland, in terms of his points per match, is sort of level pegging with Cunha and Wood and Isak. Like they're all very similar. I think they're around 6 points per match, all four of them. So Haaland isn't going to be 15 million. He can't be, especially if Salah goes that high. They've got to give us. For me, the higher they price players, the better. I want to be able to pick players from middling teams that we never get to pick. I don't want there to be a strong template. I want players to be overpriced, and so should every engaged manager. But I reckon they'll develop it so there is a world in where you can have both. And this season they did that. You could have Salah and Haaland. It was possible. And I reckon therefore you could see Haaland at like 13 and Salah at 14.5, and you can just about make it work. What does everyone think for Haaland? Get your guesses in the chat. It's split. Like Getty says 12 million, Animation says 14.5. Like I think Haaland, there's really real strong arguments for keep him super high or give him a big drop.
Yeah, I think you're right too. Right, last 5 minutes of the show. A few things I want to touch on before we're all out. One of them is Jarrod Bowen.
Yes.
One of them is differentials for the next game week. So I guess they can kind of be intertwined. What do you think about Jarrod Bowen as a pick, given West Ham's fixtures?
I'm an iron on it all week on wildcard. My wildcard dilemmas were Strand Larson and Bowen or Kluivert and Visser. That was my two that I was unsure about for attacker 6 and 7. I mean, Strand Larson and Bowen both got very good points at the weekend, so that was annoying. But it's a tough one. I just keep looking at his price tag going, is it a little bit too much to spend on a West Ham attacker? Because West Ham don't score enough goals. But when they do, he's involved. They won't play Brighton every week, though. Brighton, without Van Heck as well, Brighton look loose. So, yes, West Ham have good fixtures. And look, Spurs really will give you chances. Bowen's a fantastic pick. I just have an issue with his price, but maybe I shouldn't, because when West Ham score, he gets them.
Yeah, China says Bowen versus Spurs C team is a gift.
Yeah, great
Maybe,
entry point.
West Ham just aren't like Graham Potter seems a very frustrated man at the moment, and he's a bit angry. West Ham are not good either. You know, they kind of making fun of their own team at the weekend. The way that they were chanting and stuff. They really know that they are a bad team. So, well, I like Bowen. I just don't know. I don't trust West Ham. I thought the running was going to be really good for them, but I'm not convinced anymore. So in terms of players / teams who will be the differential for the next game week, which is where I'm going to personally have to focus in terms to get any sort of edge in these last few game weeks. I need players that maybe not nobody else is going to pick, but some people might not have the same faith in. I've talked about Vardy. I think that Vardy is as a differential, given he's got Southampton and he's also got, who did I say he also had? Ipswich coming up. So I think Vardy is a decent pick and one I will consider, actually. Nottingham Forest, I would have get another defender. I think Milinkovic or Sells I will consider as somebody that's different. What about you, mate? Is there any games there that you see and you think for this game week, if you want to get someone that's not going to be very highly owned, that you would be looking for?
I think if we get a team league on a Man City attacker like De Bruyne, I think he's a great buy if you can reach him. Just like the narrative of De Bruyne leaving, last hurrah. Ollie Watkins is another interesting one. We've heard today Rashford's out for the season. So
yeah, true.
Watkins is going to get the minutes now, like guaranteed. Like
Fulham at home.
Number 9 option. Fulham at home's a good entry point. Villa are going to feel a little bit bruised. And I don't mind that for Villa. Like you could argue Villa were, they were bad in the FA Cup semi-final, sure. But then if we go back to game week 33, that double game week Aston Villa had, they beat Newcastle convincingly, 4-1. They were brilliant against Newcastle. No one saw that coming. But second part of the game week, they were really good versus Man City. We all remember that game, right? Mateus Nunes scored late, but Villa matched City at the Etihad. Really unlucky to lose that football match. So Villa have got every right to feel bruised. Losing to City late on, losing the FA Cup semi-final, I think they'll have a strong end to the finish. And I actually fancy Villa over Chelsea to get Champions League football. Let's assume Newcastle and City get it. Villa are playing better football than Chelsea on their day, and I fancy Villa to beat Fulham. And then I look forward at their fixtures, and it's not a bad run. Like Villa are fine. Like I think they'll beat Bournemouth, and then it's Spurs and Man United, two teams with nothing to play for to end the season. So Watkins is a really good pick, as is we've mentioned Visser. But I've got my eye on Watkins. If I could reach him, I'm really interested in him as a buy. I just don't like to get there. A lot will consider selling Isak. I don't like selling Isak, guys. Isak has been amazing this year, and Newcastle are a very well-functioning attack, and it all channels to him. Selling Isak even in tough fixtures doesn't feel right. I know they've got Arsenal and Chelsea coming up, but Isak against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semi-finals, home and away, he bullied Saliba and Gabriel, like, and I've never seen them bullied. So yeah, would you sell Isak for the run-in if you needed to get to a power play like a Watkins? I just don't think I would.
No, I wouldn't sell Isak. No, I still think he's too good. And Stefan says, what price do you think he'll be in a Liverpool shirt? I mean, I think that's the most likely place he ends up. I know Liverpool have got some hope. I don't know why they've got hope, given that Newcastle's public stance is so firm on it, and he's going to cost like £140 million. I reckon Liverpool might have got word that they think they could get him for less than that, and that he's interested in it, because I do keep hearing that they are going to at least test the water on it. So I think if Isak goes anywhere, then Liverpool makes some sense. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one over the summer. Last question that I just saw come in was from Paul. I'm thinking week 35 and Mbeumo and Visser in for Saka and Mateta. Seems to make sense to me.
Yeah, if you can, I do, with the Rashford news, I do really like Watkins as a Visser alternative. It's a lot more money though, to be fair. So yeah, Visser's great. That's what I went with, that double up on wildcard for that reason. I didn't like the entry point of Forest, but I do think for the remaining 4 game weeks, that Brentford attack fires so well, and those two just to eat up all the FPL points. Guys, thank you so much for your comments. We'd love you to do one thing on the way out. If you're just joining, go back and watch the last hour. But the one thing we want is to get to 10k subs very, very soon. Dean, we hit 9,900 on Saturday morning. I'd love us to get to 10k very, very soon.
Yeah, I think it's 9,915 or something now. So we've added a few. Get us over the line, people. If you haven't, we would really appreciate it. I know most of you are subscribed anyway. But if we can get to 10k, we would appreciate it, as we can kick on from there.
Yeah, and if we get to 10k in the next 2 shows, you can name a dare for us both to do, and we'll try and do it. A dare, speaking like a 17-year-old. Yeah, we'll play spin the bottle. Guys, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome. We'll be back on Wednesday with a video from Big Man. It won't be live. Set those notifications. It's going to be a pre-recorded quick-fire video, and me and Dean will be back on Friday as well. Thank you, guys. He's been Dean. You lot have been the Chasers. I've been Gianni, and we've been chasing Green Arrows.